All right, so we can probably get through this video a little bit quicker because this is going to be the exact opposite of what you just learned. It's only the bearish version of what you just learned in the 1, 2, 3 engulfing candle and swing low engulfing candle, which at the point that we are using this for a bearish entry, it will be the swing high engulfing candle instead of swing low. So let's go over these two entries because they're the bearish version of entries we'll be using as engulfing candles. The first, same 1, 2, 3 engulfing pattern, except in this case, we need a lower swing high, a higher swing high, and we need our engulfing pattern to have a lower swing high than the previous swing high. So with this being the case, we have our 1, our 2, and our 3 on the engulfing candle. The third candle must be the engulfing candle. We must see a color change from green to red here. So to go over that one more time, we need the market to be pushing up, right? Either in a pullback or in an uptrend, whatever it may be. And we need the market to be consistently making higher highs. We need the top of our 1, 2, 3 engulfing pattern to be the swing high. We need the previous high to be lower than the swing high, and we need the engulfing pattern to have a lower high than the previous swing high, which was right here. So with that being the case, we will have our 1, 2, 3 fractal, and that will be followed with an engulfing pattern. So that is our 1, 2, 3 engulfing pattern to the downside, or bearish is what I'll refer to that as most of the time. And there's very little differences between that and the 1, 2, 3 engulfing pattern bullish. There's actually no differences. It's just the opposite. We're looking at swing highs instead of swing lows, still looking for that 1, 2, 3 before our engulfing pattern. So let's move on now to the swing high engulfing pattern, which exactly like the swing low engulfing pattern, we're just looking for the engulfing pattern to be the swing level. So in this case, we need to see a market either in a pullback to the upside, or we need to see a market that is in an uptrend, creating new higher highs, and we need the engulfing pattern to be the highest high of all of the previous candles, or of the previous candles in the pullback or in the trend. We just need the engulfing candle to be the swing high candle, hence the name swing high engulfing candle. So hopefully you have a good grasp on those two from that. Even if you don't worry about it, because we are going to drop down to some actual charts and take a look at a few examples to ensure that you have a really good understanding of how we're going to be using engulfing patterns and the exact rules we have for these patterns moving forward in the course. So let's go down to some charts, take a look at a couple of examples. All right, so here, see if you can spot the 1, 2, 3 and the swing high engulfing candles on the chart right now. Remember, we're looking for the bearish version of these. So what we're looking for is the swing high engulfing candle and the 1, 2, 3 engulfing candle to the downside. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and point them out just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at, and that would look something like this. Here we have a push down. This is actually in a downtrend, so this would be the case where we're looking at a pullback. We have a green candle, and a bigger red candle than the previous green candle. Is this either of our entries? No. To be a 1, 2, 3 engulfing candle, this would have to be a higher wick than the previous wick. To be a swing high engulfing candle, this wick would have to be higher than the pullback wicks before it. Neither of those are the case, so this is not an engulfing candle we would be looking to trade. And I know it looks like this might be a little bit less big than the previous body. I just wanted to use that as an example of what we're not looking for. But as we pull up here, what do we see? The market starts consistently creating new highs. Then we get a high of the pullback or the swing high as this green candle. What we're looking for is an engulfing candle to follow that and have a lower swing high. What does this mean? This means that we have a 1, 2, 3 engulfing candle on this specific pullback. So we had a downtrend, we get a pullback, we get a 1, 2, 3 engulfing candle. Hopefully that's one that you spotted out. Let's keep looking at price and see if we can find a few other examples. We push down here. We pull back up. This candle is noticeably not as big as this candle. If it was bigger than this candle, let's say this red candle came down here and closed like this. Would this be a swing high engulfing candle? Well, yes, it would. We have a push down and we start to see a pullback. We have a high, but is our engulfing candle if this was an engulfing candle, the highest high of our pullback. Yes, it is in this case. So that would have been one. I hope you didn't point it out because you can notice that it's not as big as the previous candle. But if it was bigger than the previous candle, this would be a good example of a swing high engulfing candle. As we push down further, we get down to a swing low. We get a high, a higher high is the swing high candle, the highest high of this pullback. Well, of course, the swing high candle is. What I meant to say is this engulfing candle the swing high? And it is. This is kind of a confusing situation, though. And I love that I found this because I love being able to talk you guys through this situation, which is the swing high, if you count the swing low candle, is right here. For that reason, we never count the swing low candle in looking for our swing high. What I mean by that is this would not be our swing high. If we have a push down, this swing low candle cannot be the swing low and the swing high at the same time. Keep that in mind as we move forward. We'll discuss more about that again in the nuanced rules of the strategy we're going to discuss later. So hopefully you pointed this out as a swing high engulfing candle. As we push down lower with price, what do we have right here? Well, we can't really see it at this point. We would have to zoom in a major amount, but it looks like now we do have a swing high engulfing candle. So maybe you call this one as well. We have a push down. We have a swing low, but our swing low cannot also be our swing high. So this swing high is discounted. We then have a pullback candle and a higher swing high with an engulfing candle, making this a bearish swing high engulfing candle. Let's see if I can zoom back down here without messing the chart up too much. Then we get another pullback, right? Still in this downtrend, pushing lower, pushing lower, pushing lower. We're pushing back up now. What do we have right here? Would that be a swing high engulfing candle? Hopefully you said yes, and hopefully you spotted this one out. We have the market creating new highs. Then we have the swing high of this pullback that also happens to engulf the previous candle and have a color change from green to red. We always need that for engulfing patterns. So this would be a valid swing high engulfing candle. As you can see right here, not valid because why? This is a 1, 2, 3 fractal move, but it is not an engulfing candle because it's not a larger body than the previous candle. Let's keep looking here. I think there's one more on our charts, and that is right here. This would be a swing high engulfing candle because it's the swing high of the current move up, and this would be a good example of a counter trend level. Let me just explain that briefly. We have a push up, the market then starts making new highs and then even higher highs. In this case, we have the startings of an uptrend, but what we're looking for in this case is still the same. We're still looking for this candle to be the highest high out of the previous trend or the previous pullback. In this case it is, so that would be a valid swing high engulfing candle. We then have what we would consider a 1, 2, 3 candle, but this, again, our 2 needs to be the swing high. That 2 is not the swing high because this is the swing high. So therefore, this would not be a valid 1, 2, 3 engulfing candle. If we push forward, this candle did not close below that one. So at this point, hopefully, I'm not going to keep going with this because we're going to discuss all these candlestick patterns a lot more once we get into the actual strategies. And I'll give you the more nuanced rules once we get there. I just wanted to make you familiar with the engulfing candlestick pattern and how we're going to be trading it throughout this course. So with that said, you now have a good handle, hopefully, on the bullish and bearish version. If not, rewatch it one more time. Don't worry about it too much after watching it twice, though, because, again, we're going over these again in great detail later on in the Strategy Mastery course. Now that we're finished with that, let's move on to the next candlestick pattern you're going to be learning, which is similar to the hammer and shooting star candle, but I call them 38.2% candles. Let's look at those right now, and I'll see you in the next video.